Hello everyone, for today's video we're going to be looking at BODMAS. So let's get straight into it and have a look at some classic examples that will help you learn a bit more about this learning mathematical strategy. So the rules of ordering in mathematics, so BODMAS. So BODMAS is an acronym if you didn't already know that. So each letter stands for a different mathematical operation that you can use. So B stands for brackets. So any numbers inside the brackets, you do those first, working left to right. Orders, that's anything like a square root or a squared. Division and multiplication, you'll notice on my chart here, they're both blue. That's because they're both interchangeable. You can do either one at the third step. And likewise, for addition and subtraction, you can do both of those at the third step. That's why they're both yellow. So BODMAS. BODMAS is a useful acronym that tells you the order in which you solve mathematical problems. It's important that you follow the rules of BODMAS because without it, your answers can't be wrong. So, and I've just gone through this definition, but that's written there for you. So feel free to pause this video now, and you might like to write those down in your workbook. So pause it now if you want to write those down. Otherwise, we're going to continue. So BODMAS, it's the same thing as BIDMAS, which you might have heard before. They're the exact same thing, whereas in BIDMAS, the I refers to indices, which is the same as orders. It's just a different language. Otherwise, you might have heard of PEDMAS, which is commonly used in the USA. But again, it's a very similar thing in the way it works. But here I'll be referring to BODMAS the remainder of this video. So using BODMAS. So you start with anything inside the brackets going from left to right. So an example here is 4 times in brackets 3 plus 2. So you need to do the operation inside the brackets first. So 3 plus 2, then multiply the answer by 4. So you do 3 plus 2, which gives you 5. And then that leaves you with 4 times 5, which is 20. However, if you ignored the brackets in this calculation, going from left to right, you might get 4 times 3 plus 2, which 4 times 3 is 12, plus 2 would give you 14, which would give you the wrong answer. Hence why we need to always follow the acronym BODMAS and do the brackets first. The orders, so anything with a power or a square root, these are known as orders. Again, working from left to right, this is the way you'd do it. So 3 squared plus 5 equals, well, we know that 3 squared equals 3 times itself. So 3 times 3, which is 9. So then we would go 9 plus 5 to give us 14. Division and multiplication. So once you've done anything involving brackets and the orders, you move on to division and multiplication. Now, as I said, they rank equally. So you can do these going from left to right in the order that they appear in the sum. So in my example here, we've got 6 divided by 2 plus 7 times 4. So we need to do the division and multiplication first, but we've got one of each. So as I said, we're going to go from left to right as it appears, which means we're going to do 6 divided by 2, which gives us 3. Then we do the multiplication, which is 7 times 4, which gives us 28. So now our calculation reads 3 plus 28, which gives us the final answer of 31. And that leaves us to our final part of the acronym AS, addition and subtraction. So the final step is to calculate any addition or subtraction. Again, addition and subtraction, like multiplication and division, they rank equally. So we just do these from left to right like we've been doing for every other example. So my example here, 4 plus 6 minus 7 plus 3. So you start left and work your way across. So 4 plus 6 is 10. 10 minus 7 equals 3. And that gives us then 3 plus 3, which gives us our final answer of 6. Now let's bring it all together and have an example with all the elements of BODMAS. So my example in bold at the top, 4 plus 8 to the power of 2 times, in brackets, 30 divided by 5 equals. So we start with the calculation inside the brackets. 30 divided by 5, which gives us 6. So let's stop. We're going to rewrite our formula. Now I've done the bit in brackets. So that gives us 4 plus 8 to the power of 2 times 6. Now we're going to calculate the orders. In this case, we've only got a squared. So it's 8 squared, and 8 times 8 is 64. So we're going to stop and we're going to write it out again. 4 plus 64 times 6. And now we go down our acronyms. We've done the brackets, we've done the orders, now up to the multiplication and division. So the multiplication, we've no division in this question, so it's just multiplication. So we're going to go 64 times 6, which once you've done that math, it would work out to be 384. And that just leaves us with 4 plus 384, which gives us our final answer of 388. Okay, now let's do some test questions. So for each of these questions, I'm just going to show the question. I recommend what you do now is as you see the question, pause the video, try answering yourself and see if you get to the same conclusion that I did. I've got about half a dozen questions or so here. So there's a few for you to practice. Let's have a look at them together. So these are going to get more difficult as we go. But the first one, 3 plus 20 times 3. So pause it now if you're going to work this out. Okay, so the first step, there are no brackets or orders in this calculation. So B is done for our acronym. And so is O. So that means multiplication comes. So we're going to start with 20 times 3, which gives us 60. Now the formula reads 3 plus 60. Therefore, our answer is 63. Okay, now this one. Pause the video now if you're going to work this out. Okay, so thinking about our acronym, BODMAS, you've got to keep thinking about the acronym. So the first one, brackets, 3 plus 2 equals 5. So now we're going to stop and write our calculation out again. So it's 25 minus 5 divided by 5. Back to BODMAS. Division comes before subtraction, so 5 divided by 5 equals 1. Now our formula reads 25 minus 1, which will then give us our final answer of 24. Okay, this is our third question. So again, if you need to pause the video, now's the time to do it. Okay, so our third question reads 10 plus 6 times, in brackets, 1 plus 10. So thinking about BODMAS, we do the brackets first. 1 plus 10 equals 11. Now the calculation reads 10 plus 6 times 11. So multiplication is our next step. So multiplication comes before addition. So 6 times 11 is 66. Now the calculation reads 10 plus 66, which then gives us our final answer of 76. Okay, here's our next example. If you're going to work this out, pause the video now. Okay. The formula reads 5, then there's an empty space. So we'll come back to that in a moment. Then we've got a bracket, 3 plus 2, close bracket, plus 5 to the power of 2. So 5 squared. Oh, I'll just move my camera here. So when there is no sign like this in the calculation, there's actually, we need to remember, there's an invisible multiplication, so it's times. So therefore, it reads like this, 5 times, in brackets, 3 plus 2, plus 52. Sorry, that's meant to be 5 squared. That's an error on my typing there. So 5 squared. So the calculation, we do the brackets first, like we have been. 3 plus 2 equals 5, which gives us 5 times 5 and 5 squared. Apologies for the typing error there. The next step is orders. In this case, it is the 5 squared, which is 5 times itself. So 5 times 5 is 25. So now we have 5 times 5 plus 25. And division and multiplication come before addition and subtraction. So the next step is 5 times 5 equals 25. So now the calculation reads 25 plus 25, which gives us our final answer of 50. Okay. As I said, these are going to get harder. So I recommend if you're going to have a go, pause the video now. Okay, so this next question. In brackets, we've got 105 plus 206 minus 550 divided by 5 squared plus 10. Okay, So this one, it looks scary. It has everything involved in it, but don't panic. BODMAS, our formula we've been working on, still applies. And all you have to do is unpick the calculation step by step. So we'll work on this together. So thinking through our acronym, BODMAS, BODMAS. We start with the brackets. 105 plus 206 equals 311. So we're going to stop and write our formula out again. 311 minus 550 divided by, again, apologies for the typing error, 5 squared plus 10. So now we do orders or the powers. In this case, it's 5 squared, which is 25. So now the calculation reads 311 minus 550 divided by 25 plus 10. So next, following our acronym, we're up to the multiplication and division. There is no multiplication in our question, so it's just the division. Again, however, they are both equal. You could have done either one, whatever appears left to right. So that gives us 550 divided by 25, which gives us 22. So we're going to stop and write it again. So now our calculation reads 311 minus 22 plus 10. So although you still have 2 operations left, addition and subtraction, as I said before, they rank equally. So we're just going to go left to right. So 311 minus 22 gives us 289. And then we're going to add our 10 onto that to give us our final answer of 299. Okay. Now this question, if you're going to have a go, pause the video now. Otherwise, let's have a look at this question. So there's a lot of symbols going on and a lot of 7s. So this one, a problem like this, you actually might have seen something like this on social media. Sometimes with the caption like 90% of people might get this wrong. However, it doesn't matter. Just follow the rules of BODMAS to get the correct answer. As scary as this looks, the answer might surprise you. So there's no brackets or orders. So we're going to go straight to division and multiplication. 7 divided by 7 is 1. And 7 times 7 is 49. So we're going to stop and write it out again. So now the calculation reads 7 plus 1 plus 49 minus 7. So now we'll just do the addition and subtraction. So 7 plus 1 is 8 plus 49 gives us 57. Then we're going to minus that 7 to get us 50, which means our final answer is 50. Okay. So that's my video today on BODMAS. So best of luck in future questions. And how did you do on the questions today? Hopefully you managed to get all the answers right. If not, go back and review this video, review your working and see where you went wrong and read over the rules again and again until you can remember the acronym and the steps in which you need to work mathematically. The more you practice, the easier BODMAS will become, and eventually you won't even have to think about it. So that's the end of my video today, everyone. I hope you enjoyed it. If you have any questions, make sure to check in with your teacher, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.